Today's video is about the importance of relationships between students and the teacher, and the relationship between the instructional coach and the adult staff. Building a relationship of trust and respect between the adult student and the coach is critical for improving instruction. Coaches who are eager to help, listen intently, collaborate with all teachers, give feedback in a timely manner, and make themselves available will build confidence in the teachers they are working with. Teachers need to know that the instructional coach is there to assist and support them in improving instruction for all students. When trust and rapport are present, students feel comfortable in their environment and are more motivated to learn. When students know you care and are sincere, they will have courage to participate freely, make mistakes, and have persistence to stay with challenging problems longer to achieve their learning goals. Brian and I will model 2 strategies to build trust and rapport with your students. I will play the role of an instructional coach, and Brian is the teacher. Hi Brian, thank you for coming to my room so we can discuss some of the strategies we talked about last time we met. I know your prep time is valuable, so we won't take up much of your time.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Last time we met, we talked about how to demonstrate that you care for your students, like greeting the students at the front door and showing an interest in your students' lives outside of the classroom. How did these strategies work for you?
Last week I started greeting my students at the door instead of sitting at my desk planning lessons or entering grades. I made a point to greet them with a smile and give them a high five as they entered my classroom. Some students even commented that I am one of the few teachers that welcome them to the class. As the students copied down their daily agenda, I walked around and asked them about their weekend and extracurricular activities.
That is fantastic. I'm so glad to hear that these strategies worked so well for you and you have been able to get to know your students better and make them feel welcomed in class. You also expressed that the students this year have a negative self-concept and rarely see that they are doing well in class. As their teacher, you want to help students take pride in their accomplishments rather than their faults. I gave you an idea about creating a win wall on one of your empty corkboards. Were you able to implement this in your classroom?
Yes, I was able to implement this strategy in my class. I took your idea a step further and divided my corkboard into 5 regions so each class would have a space to post their win. I kept their wins anonymous so students would be more honest with posting their accomplishments. At first, students struggled with understanding what a win is. I explained to the students that this is something you have done well in my class. It was encouraging to stand there and read all their accomplishments as they posted their wins on the corkboard.
That's awesome. I love the idea of how you divided the board into 5 regions so each class would have a space to put their wins. By recognizing their successes, you are creating a positive atmosphere in your classroom that acknowledges their accomplishments. Feedback is more effective when it is focused on a specific skill that needs to be improved. This helps the instructional coach give a more in-depth analysis of the teacher's teaching skills. When we give feedback, we want to first start off by giving positive feedback about what the teacher has done well. By giving positive feedback first, they are more willing to hear what needs to be improved. The last time we talked, you expressed concerns about getting the attention of all your students quickly to create an orderly and safe learning environment. I shared 2 strategies with you last time. Give me 5 and raise your hand, or clap once if you can hear me. When I observed your class, you did an excellent job of using the Give Me 5 strategy for getting the attention of your students. Your students quickly raised their hand and were quiet and attentive.
Thank you for that feedback. This has been a very talkative group this semester, and it was taking too long for them to be quiet and hear my instructions. I first tried the clap 1 strategy, but that caused more distraction. The Give Me 5 strategy was more effective.
Good. In my observation, I did notice that you had difficulty transitioning from one activity to the next.
Yes, I noticed that too. Any suggestions?
Yes, I think you can implement the Give Me 5 strategy to get their attention first, and then have an instruction slide up on the projector explaining in 3 simple steps what they are to do next. The last strategy that we will discuss is providing feedback on a specific behavior that the teacher is doing. Feedback is more effective when it focuses on the behavior rather than on the person. The teacher is less defensive and can see that the focus is on changing the behavior and is not an attack on them. Last time we met, you expressed that you were looking for a different way to monitor yourself and provide all your students with equal opportunities to respond to questions in class. I shared an idea of passing out playing cards at the beginning of class and pulling the playing card from the deck to have a student answer the question. How did this idea work for you?
The idea worked great. I passed out the cards as they entered the classroom. I even took your idea a step further and purchased Star Wars playing cards.
Oh, very cool.
I'm a huge Star Wars fan and thought it would be a great way to share my interest with my students and get to know them better. The students were eager to hold up the playing card when their card was pulled from the deck to answer a specific question. This strategy kept all my students engaged and on task, and I was able to gauge who was learning the content by calling out all my students and not just the high-achieving students.
That is fantastic. I'm so glad to hear that this strategy worked so well for you and that the strategy allowed you to monitor participation as well as student learning.
Today's instructional video was produced by Sean Zerang. The actors were Brian Zerang, played the part of the teacher, and Sean Zerang was the instructional coach. This video is also edited by Sean Zerang.